Assalamu alaikum rahmatullah. Our presentation today is about quality tools, and this is Dr. Muhammad Farid. Let's start. We have a question here. Can you cook without some kitchen's tool? If you don't have tools at your kitchen, can you cook some good food? We have here a nice answer by some females, of course. We even cannot cook with a full kitchen tools. Just joking. So the idea here is we cannot cook a good food without a full, at least some kitchen tool or a full kitchen tool. The same in quality, we cannot do our job without having some quality tools. We will call them the basic quality tools or problem solving tools. I will offer here a lot of tools by name, but we will explain only 7 tools in this presentation. What are the most important tools we are using is flowchart, Pareto diagram, histogram, cause and effect diagram, check sheet, scatter diagram, control charts, force field analysis, brainstorming, affinity diagram, 5 whys, and selection matrix. Let's start with a question here. Can you tell me the causes of COVID-19 spread among healthcare giver or staff in your healthcare facility or in X facility? Why COVID-19 spread among the staff? If you are asking single person, he can give you 1 or 2 causes. Maybe they are not the real causes. If you are asking a group of staff and every one of them can put his input, you can have a large idea about the subject itself, and you can reach the real causes of the spread. This is the main idea about the first tool here, which is the brainstorming. So what's brainstorming? A group decision-making technique designed to generate a large number of creative ideas about an issue through an interactive process in a short time period. If you want to know the real causes, if you have to get a large number of ideas or thoughts or causes, you can ask some people to sit with each other and they can deliver the largest number of the ideas you want. Why we do brainstorming? To identify problems. If we need to know what are the most important problems we are facing in our facility, or to analyze the causes. If you have a problem and you want to know the real causes for it, or some causes of it, or almost all causes of the problem, you should use the brainstorming technique or tool. Or selecting the alternative solution, finding the solution of a problem, also you can use brainstorming. When to use it? We will use the brainstorming in every single phase during the improvement process. Know the problem, identify causes, or identify the solutions. How to use it? We have 2 types of brainstorming. We have structured, which we call rounds. Everyone takes a turn, and the unstructured is the popcorn. Each team member gives the idea as they come to mind, no need to pass. I will explain it in a few seconds. Structured means ask the people to sit in a round circle on a table and put a facilitator, and everyone just next to the facilitator, he will get his input, then the next one, until we finish all the people on the table. Anyone doesn't have any idea during one turn, he will say pass, I don't know, I don't have any idea that time. And the advantage here is that it's organized and it will save time and it will make people build up on ideas. What about the unstructured? Unstructured means, again, people will sit next to a facilitator, and anyone have an idea came to his mind, he just raise hand and tell his idea. The problem here is it will take a lot of time, and there will be a dominance. Someone will take the lead. He will give a lot of inputs, and some people will sit silent. They will not give any input. This is the disadvantage of the unstructured or popcorn type of brainstorming. So we have 2 types, structured and non-structured. How to do it? You have to start with defining the subject. Are you searching for problem, initiatives, or you're searching for causes, or you are searching for the solution? So identify what you are going to storm the brains to get the ideas. Number two, give team member few minutes to gather their thoughts. Hey people, we are going to talk about the causes of the spread of COVID-19 in our facility amongst staff. Then request idea from the team members. Ask them to start. Then open. One person should write the ideas on a flip chart. Rather than the facilitator, we have someone to write on the flip chart so everyone in the meeting can see the ideas so he can generate or build up on what he sees. Clarify all ideas generated to assure accuracy and understanding. If any idea or an input from one person is not clear to others, ask him to clarify it to all people. No mock at anyone, never ever mock at any cause or at any idea, whatever. It's important, not important in your opinion. And build up on. When someone is telling an idea, you can build up on it. This is the ideas and how to do the brainstorming. Number two, or tool number two, is cause and effect diagram, which is called Ishikawa or fishbone. It shows the relationship between a problem and its possible causes. If we have a problem and we want to know the causes or arrange the causes according to the main ideas or main issues or main subjects, we will use the cause and the effect. It's developed by Kaoru Ishikawa in 1953. We also call it the fishbone diagram or Ishikawa diagram. So cause and effect is the fishbone, is the Ishikawa. And this is the man who started to use it. His name is Kaoru. Okay, there is a skeleton, there is a head, and there is a pin. It's a fish or a fishbone. The head is the problem. Quality problem will be at the head. The main items will be in the main pin, like procedure, materials, people, equipment, or whatever. There is no fixed rule to put here. Anything you want to arrange according, you have to do it. The small pins here are the causes, the real causes, the minor causes, under the main categories, which is procedure, material, equipment, and people. So the procedure are called the main category. And the small pin means the causes, the real causes, the fine causes, the small causes. Okay, this is a full fishbone or Ishikawa or cause and effect. Let's explain it. We will put it at the head, as we said, the quality problem, or as we call them quality, we'll call it initiative, not problem. Here we arranged the problems into main 6 categories. Something related to machines, humans, measurement, environment, materials, and processes. What is the problem with the processes? Deficiencies in product design, ineffective quality management, poor process design. What about materials? Material handling problem, not to specification, defective form vendor. What about environment? Dust and dirt can affect, it may be the cause of the problem. Inaccurate temperature control. For the machines, out of adjustment, tooling problem, old worn. About human, poor supervision, lack of concentration, inadequate training, or inadequate number of the staff themselves, the measurement, improper method, improper or incorrect specification, or faulty testing equipment. There is a complete fishbone. You can do it according to your problem or according to your solution. Just put the problem in the head, put the main categories, then put the small causes under the main categories. What's the advantage of fishbone or Ishikawa? Making the diagram is educational itself. It will educate us about the problem. Diagram demonstrate knowledge of the problem solving team. Diagram result in active search for the causes. Active search means every single one will think about how to arrange those small problems according to categories. Diagram is guide for data collection we can collect more and more data as we are establishing the fishbone. We can generate more ideas or more data and put it in the diagram. How to construct the fishbone? As we said, we will formulate or make them according to 5M or 4M, or some people will call them 5 Ps, like man, method, machine, material, or people, policies, and so on. You can arrange them according to main categories. For services application, equipment, policies, procedure, people, as we said, the 5P or the 4 Ps or 5 Ps, like people, procedure, policies. Number 3, we have the flow chart. What's the flow chart? It's graphical description of how work is done. Tell me the details, tell me the steps of one process. Used to describe processes that are to be improved. We will use the flow chart when we are doing some improvement, or we want to know the causes, or we want to know the bottleneck of a process. We will use the flow chart. Used to describe process after improvement or redesign. So before improvement, we will do a flow chart for what's happening right now, and after we will do the improvement or planning, we will put another one for the new steps we have to do after or during the improvement. Draw a flow chart for whatever you do. Do it first. Until you do, you don't know what you are doing. You just have a job. This is by Edward Deming. This one is a quality pioneer. He said that as soon as you don't have flow chart, you do not have details. You have no improvement. You have just a job, but you don't know what are the real causes, the real steps, the bottleneck areas, and the improvement. So as soon as you don't have a flow chart, you still have a job without details, without improvement, without knowing the real job you are doing. The flow chart have many symbols you have to do: the circle, the rectangular, and the lozenge shape. There is another maybe 10 or more symbols, but it's not important and it's not famous or familiar. We are familiar with the important 4 things, which is the circle, the rectangular, the arrow, and the... Always use the circle or the oval shape for the start and the end. Put any step in a rectangular shape. Arrow will show you the direction up, down, by side. And if you have a decision or a question needing an answer, put it in a lozenge shape. Here is a mature flow chart. We will discuss it rapidly. As we said that the start should be in an oval shape or a round shape, which is the customer arrives. We have a customer came to a bank. Okay? After he arrives, he will make a request. I need some money from my account. Then the next step is teller inquires after ID. Someone will check his ID. We have here 2 things. We have here a question. As we said, we have to put it in a lozenge shape. Is his ID valid or expired? If it's valid, we will continue. If it's not valid, we will reject. We will not accept his request. So after we make sure that the ID is valid, yes, we will go to check the balance. Do he have money in our bank enough to what he's requesting or not? We have here, after checking the balance, maybe the balance is enough or not. If the balance is enough, we will check the policy of giving people money from their account. If he's matching with the policy, if the request is matching with the policy, we will log transaction, then give the customer money, and it will be a finish here. But if not, we will reject. This is a very clear, very simple flow chart you can use in any process in your facility. Just remove anything related to bank and money and put your steps, all information about your process. Number 4, the fourth tool we will use tonight is the affinity diagram. What's affinity diagram? Diagram designed to help team to organize a large volume of ideas or issues into a naturally related group. As we discussed before, maybe you can use it after a brainstorming. Let's say that you are discussing the problem of COVID-19 spread among staff and you have 20 ideas. All those ideas are mixed. You can use the affinity diagram to just put them under main categories. Affinity means close relationship or connection or similarity of the structure. Make a similar thing just close to each other and under one umbrella. Why we are using the affinity diagram? It helps to clarify and make sense of a large or complex problem. It helps to focus on the problem, the topics, the solution, and the time. It will save a lot of time. When to use it? We can use it in all phases again. As soon as we have ideas, we need to categorize them or making affinity to them. We have to use the affinity diagram. By the way, affinity means the ability to get to each other, contact to each other, relation to each other. How to do it? First, the issue under discussion. Do brainstorming, use cards or adhesive notes, as we said before in the flip chart, that can be moved and sorted. Display ideas randomly for the team, on a wall or a table, so everyone can see them. As we said, we have to post them so everyone can watch and they can build up on. Have a large group silently sort the ideas or the cards into groups of related topics. Discuss the major grouping and create a title for each group on the header card. So now both the header, both the main categories or main group, then you have to sort the ideas under each group. Draw the diagram based on the grouping. Then we will do the diagram. This is an example. Those are 9 ideas, 9 causes, 9 solutions. We just generate them. Now we have to sort them. How to sort them? Just to go on the flip chart and put the main category, like past experience, then put the ideas related to past experience, like find out how other organizations have done it, or knowledge of the process improvement tools and technique in the past. Or you can sort them under internal issues, something related to our facility, like make data really available for people, getting everyone involved, understand our true capability, breaking down internal competition and barriers. And the third group is patient input, getting feedback from impatient and dealing with their complaints. This is the next one, which is the affinity diagram. Next to affinity diagram is Pareto Principle. Very, very famous tool we are using in every single improvement project because it's a very interesting. We will take an idea about it. It's invented by Italian economist Vilfredo Pareto in 1848 up to 1923. This man lived from 1848 to 1923. His idea is built up on 20% of the population have 80% of the wealth. Joran modified this one into a vital few and trivial many. He noted that 20% of the quality problem caused 80% of the dollar loss. I will give you an example again. Maybe you are agree upon or not. They said that 20% of the population inside your healthcare facility are doing 80% of the job. Again, 20% of the problem inside your healthcare facility are responsible for 80% from your reputation inside the facility, and so on. The principle is 80-20 principle. This is Pareto and this is Joseph Joran, what they stated about Pareto. We will explain it here. You go to the reason of any problem. Let's say that we have 8 reasons. Every one you have to put the frequency, how many times it happened. Let's say that we have COVID-19 spread among our healthcare facility. Let's say that we have 245 infection with COVID-19 amongst staff because they are not following a policy and the procedure. 168 because this is for cesarean section and some problems. 168 defective antenatal care. 112 no departmental orientation. Those are the frequency of the causes. Then you have to arrange it in a percentage. The 245 constitute 35% of the total 700 frequency of causes. So you will put the percentage of every single cause. Pareto here are focusing on this column, which is the cumulative. Cumulative means you have to add the percentage of this cause to the next one and so on. So let's start. No policy was 35%. What's the cumulative? Cumulative means the 35% plus the previous one. Hence, we don't have the previous one, so the cumulative here will be 35%. The second one, percentage is 24%. What's the cumulative? Cumulative means the 24% plus the previous one. The previous one is 35%. So the total will be, the cumulative here will be 59%, 75% until we will reach the 100%. This is how to develop the table that you can use to build the Pareto chart. Pareto chart, you can do it by Excel sheet or by any program specialized for this one like QI Marcos or Minitab. Here what's happening, you are putting every single according to the cumulative. Cumulative here, I believe it was 35, here it was 59, here it will be 75% and so on. So put them as the percentage, and here will be the cumulative, frequency and the cumulative. Okay, when you draw it, just to go to the percentage of 80 as Pareto said, and put a horizontal line until it will meet your curve, both another one perpendicular. When they meet, it will be the 80 percentage. The left to the longitudinal line, we will call them is the vital few, the most important few things that if you can fix the whole problem. On the right side, we will call them the trivial many, means it's a lot of things we can correct later on. It's not important as the reasons on the left side. This is the idea of Pareto. After Pareto, we have the prioritization matrix or the selection matrix. What? That's a technique that organize issue and prioritize them on agreed upon criteria. If you have a lot of things like again solutions of a problem, but you don't know with which one of them you have to start, put them in the prioritization or selection matrix. Why we will use it? It helps you to rank problem, actions, or issue by a particular criteria that are important to the organization. It's helpful in sharing with others how final choices were made. So the choice here is not according to somebody, whatever he's a manager or a leader or a staff or a head of department. No, ranking here are done according to a theory, according to a tool, which is the selection or prioritization matrix. When to use it? When issue or option must be narrowed down. It's too much, we don't know how to start. So if we want to narrow it down to start to work, put the prioritization matrix. When prioritization is needed, if you want to prioritize something before than another thing. Useful in identification of problems and improvement phases. How to do it? Limit the list of issue, problem, or solution to no more than 8. Make them 8 causes or 8 solutions. Develop and reach consensus on criteria against which each opinion will be rated. Rate them according to criteria, not according to your mode or your mind. According to fixed established criteria. How to do it? Select scoring system from 0 to 5, from 1 to 10, according to you want. But the most, if you want it, if you want to make it clear, use short numbers. For example, from 0 to 5, or from 1 to 5, while 1 is not good for your facility and 5 is good for your facility, and so on. Determine the desired score for each issue. Prioritize and select the issues across all the criteria. For example, we will do one here. From 1 to 5, we are grading our solutions from 1 to 5, while 1 is bad for us and the 5 is good. Other people can do it vice versa. 5 is bad and 1 is good. It's according to the consensus of the group doing the selection matrix here. We will do it here for the same problem we used before, which is the high cesarean section rate in one healthcare facility. So they said that we have to issue a policy and we have to do effective antenatal care. And they said that we have to do departmental orientation, and they have to do to call or to hire new people, extra staff number. This is the solution, 4 solution. With which of them I have to start? With which of them I have to focus? I don't know. So what to do? Put a criteria and grade them or rate them or rank them with number from 1 to 5. Then we can see. So here they start to talk about cost. Leadership support for the solution, cost of the solution, time consumed for the solution, acceptability by the staff for the solution. So they said that for issuing a policy, it will cost us 5. 5 means it's good for us. If it needs money, we'll put 1 or 2. So it's 5, good for us. Leadership support, 4, they will support us. Time, it will need take 1 week or 2 weeks for establishing or issuing a policy and procedure. So it's good for us. People and the staff will accept it, 4, and so on. We will compare issue policy and procedure with extra stuff. Even if we need extra stuff, it will cost us, yes, it will cost, so I will grade it with 2. Leadership will support, they don't have extra stuff now, and it will take a lot of time to hire people, so it's 2. Time, it will take too much time, so 1. Acceptability by staff, they will accept, staff will like to have more and more and more staff. So what to do next? Just multiply. Some people saying that we have to gather or submit, we have to gather them or add them to each other. But the right thing is to multiply them with each other. So if we multiply 5 by 4 by 5 by 4, it will give us 400. If we multiply 2 by 2 by 1 by 5, it will give us 20. Now we have the 4 total numbers here. The idea is take the more number and start to focus or to work with it, because it will be simple to your facility. So we have here 400, 320, I will start with them. Then I will do the 70 and the 20 and so on. This is simply the selection or prioritization matrix. And at the last, number 7, as we said, the 5 whys. What's why 5? It's an interactive technique used to explore the cause and the effect relationship underlying a particular problem. If you want to know the real cause of a problem, you have to ask the people or ask yourself 5 questions or 5 whys. Why? The primary goal of the technique is to determine the root cause of the defect or a problem by reporting the question why, by repeating the question why, asking why and why and why 5 times. How to do it? Each answer from the basis of the next question. When you give me the answer of the first 2 questions, I will ask you why. You will give me an answer, I will ask you why, and so on. This is an example of the 5 whys. The problem is ran through a red light. Someone, he just crossed the light while it's red. Sorry, it was red. So I will ask the first why. Why you crossed the red light? Because I was late for work. I will ask for this answer. Why? Because I woke up late. Why? Because alarm clock broke. It did not work. Why? Did not check if it's working or not before I want to sleep. Why? Forget to do it last night. So the main cause of crossing the red light, not because I was late for the work or because I woke up late or because the alarm is broke, the problem is I did not check the alarm sleep. So this is the real cause after asking 5 whys. We finish now the 7 tools. Until we meet again in another presentation. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.